Yeah. So, yeah. So, in order for everyone to make the time most meaningful, most beneficial for yourself and the rest of the sentient beings, temporary happiness up to ultimate happiness. The one of the way that can bring about that is through having correct motivation of bodhicitta, and that also if we are able to set on the basis of refreshing refuge in Buddha Dhamma Sangha. So in order to do that, I will recite refuge and bodhicitta prayer, as well as salutation to Guru Shakyamuni Buddha, salutation to our lineage Guru. Then we will start the teaching.
Entonces, que todas hagamos de este tiempo juntos, extraigamos el máximo beneficio para nosotros y para todos los seres que puedan obtener la felicidad tanto temporal como última. El mejor modo de posibilitar esto es a través de que generemos ahora la motivación de la bodhicitta, y esta sobre la base del refugio en el Buda, el Dharma y la Sangha. Para ello, refrescando este refugio del Buda, el Dharma y la Sangha con este propósito, voy ahora a recitar la oración del refugio y la bodhicitta y las alabanzas a Guru Buda Sakyamuni y a los gurús del linaje.
Zangye Jodang Zoye Jonala Janju Badu Dani Jazonje Daye Jinzo Yebe Sonamji Dola Benjere Zangye Drubarai Jo Zangye Jodang Zoye Jonala Janju Badu Dani Jazonje Daye Jinzo Yebe Sonamji Dola Benjere Zangye Drubarai Jo Zangye Jodang Zoye Jonala Janju Badu Dani Jazonje Daje Jinzo Jebe Sonamji Dola Benjere Zangye Drubarai Jo Semje Damje Dewadan Deve Judan Demra Juje Semje Damje Dunga Dan Dunga Je Judan Dawa Juje Semje Damje Dunga Mebe Dewadan Midawa Juje Semje Damje Nire Chadan Nidanda Danyola Nebra Juro Eje Semje Damje Dewadan Deve Judan Demra Juje Semje Damje Dunga Dan Dunga Je Judan Dawa Juje Semje Damje Dunga Mebe Dewadan Midawa Juje Semje Damje Nire Chadan Nidanda Ve Danyola Nebra Juro Je Semje Damje Dewadan Deve Judan Demra Juje Semje Damje Dunga Dan Dunga Je Judan Dawa Juje Semje Damje Dunga Mebe Dewadan Midawa Juje Semje Damje Nire Chadan Nidanda Ve Danyola Nebra Juro Eje Kange doze ne zone dawa damje bambe jire dambe jene denze be godam de la chaze lo Tonye ni je zondo je be lam seje zenje kanje de de ge chana be mo denze jazo la so wa de so da ju chin ye lo. Thank you. So, Rafala, are we going to do simultaneous?
Yes, if you
Okay.
want, whenever you want, we can start. You want to start now?
We can start the simultaneous now. Okay.
Entonces, sí, empezamos ya la simultánea, dice Geshe.
Thank you. Oh, yeah. So, so today is the last session on the teaching 37 practice of the Bodhisattva. Today's main topic will be the wisdom chapter on emptiness, then followed by the practices to preserve the Bodhisattva, preserve the true altruism, bodhicitta and emptiness. The practice of 6 paramita. To those who have not actualized realization on bodhicitta emptiness yet, and by engaging in the training on the 6 paramita, able to condition to develop without delaying much, and those who are already realize bodhicitta and emptiness, yet still on the path of ordinary bodhisattvas path, then by training in the practice of 6 paramita will help to progress on the path to Arya Bodhisattvas practice. Then those who are already realize emptiness directly, as well as actualize the bodhicitta in the stage of the Arya beings state, then by training in the practice of 6 paramita will assist to progress on the 10 bhumis and eventually to actualize the state of full enlightenment. That is the state of, fully perfected of the practice of 6 paramita. So then after that, there will be some concluding advice teachings from the text. So we will go through that for today's session. As far as concerned with the just give you a short recap of what we have covered. Firstly, we covered the motivational, aspect of the teaching. Then after that, we covered the preliminary teaching, including the teaching on the 3 capable beings path. Then after that, within the higher capable beings path, there are 2 sections. One is to discuss on the conventional altruism, and second one is to discuss on the ultimate altruism. So we have completed on the last session on the conventional altruism, which is on bodhicitta, and very now the verses. So verses from 20 verses 22 verses 22 to 24 will discuss on the ultimate altruism or on emptiness. Then verses 22 specifically, so that also divided into 2 sections. One is the teaching on meditational session to be conducted, and teaching on post-meditation session to be conducted. So the teaching that to be taken as a guide to the meditation session is on the verse 22. Teaching that to be taken as a guide during the post-meditation session, that is on verse 23 and 24. So like that. So now please refer to verse 22 of 37 Practice of Bodhisattva. So I think before going that, maybe it's good to remind this too. The teachings on the 37 Practice of Bodhisattva that composed by the Bodhisattva himself, the Geshe Tongme Sangbo, is the essence of the Buddha's 84,000 teaching, in particularly the essence of the Mahayanic, the paramita teachings of the Buddha. It is also the essence of the Shantideva's Bodhisattva Avacharya, or the Bodhisattva way of life. It is also the essence of Lamrim by Lama Tsongkhapa. It is the essence of the Lamrim of all the different, Tibetan Buddhist tradition, Nyingma, Kagyu, Sajja, Gelu. It is essence. It is essence, the teaching of the Kunsang Lamrim Shalom, the Nyingma Lamrim, and the Sajja Lamrim, Kagyu Lamrim, Sajja Lamre, Kagyu Tabutagen, and geluk, lamrim, lapai lamasungapa. So it is the essence of all the teachings and the essence of the sutra and tantra. So, and it is very much taught, very straightforward. There's not much, very much, very much avoided all the complexity of philosophical different views, or different tenets, etc. It is very straightforward. It's very much like pit instruction to ripened disciples, without any needed or further discussion, simply to follow exactly as according with the word, there's nothing needed to be interpreted, as long as you practice the verse literally, and there's no way it can go wrong. So that much value, carried by this teaching. So now verse 22, it says, whatever appears in your own mind, your mind from the start is free from fabricated extremes. Understanding this, do not take to mind inherent sign of subject and object. This is the practice of Bodhisattva. So brief explanation. Whatever appears, whatever appears is your own mind. So whatever whatever cognized by our different mind, whatever comes in our thoughts, whatever comes in our perception, like such as eye perception, ear perception, taste perception, feeling perception, smell perception, and the mental perception, such as form be appeared in the perceptions of eye, through the touch you can feel different tangible things, etc. Then as far as concerned with thought, there's a lot of ideas, a lot of emotions that arises, beneficial emotions, disturbing emotions, such as delusional emotions. So in short, all these are simply expression of your mind. Whatever appears is your own mind. It's just simply expression of your mind. There's nothing, nothing more than that exists by its own side out there. Either in substantial level, either in inherent level, or either in true level, or either independent level. There's nothing is out there beside simply expression of your mind. So that to be understood is what he's saying. So therefore, therefore, your mind from the start is free from fabricated extremes. So even the subject, the mind, the function of the mind in relation to the capability function of the mind to be able to perceive its object, and the mind, it is nature from very beginning, from very start, free from fabricated extremes. So from very beginning, from very start, as long as the mind first time being to exist, or as long as the mind very first time before perceiving its object, it is free from fabricated extremes. So what is the fabricated extremes? Fabricated extremes can be the two extremes. Fabricated extremes can be the extreme of seeing, inherent existence, seeing substantial existence, seeing true existence, seeing independent existence. All these are fabricated extremes, you see. So mind, it is nature from very beginning, is free from all these fabrications. Then mind, it is beginning just very moment before perceiving object, also free from these fabrications, you see. And that has to be understood. That has to be acknowledged to our mind. We have to educate to our mind that, So after educating this, understanding this, do not take to mind inherent sign of subject and object. So after understanding this reasoning, this fact, this truth about this truth, then do not take to mind inherent sign of subject and object. So you have to protect your mind by getting influence to be grasped as a inherent or substantial existence, either on the object or either on the subject. In another way, such as like from the Buddhist four philosopher school, Vaibhasika, Saudantika, then from the Madhyamika school also, the Saudantika Madhyamika, for them, even though there's no fabricated, or inherent sign of, or fabricated sign of sign from the subject side, the mind side, but then they have the faults of, faults of having the fabricated on the object side, you see. So, such as Vaibhasika and Saudantika, they, in order to actualize things to be exist, there has to be true existence from the object side, like such as a vase. Vase need to have the true existing element in order for the eye consciousness to be able to perceive as a vase. If there's no true existence substance from the vase, then when your eye consciousness relate to that object, there's no basis to actualize as a vase. There's no basis to able to recognize as a vase, you see. So that is the fault. But then, such as the Chitta Matra, even though there's no fabricated faults from the object side, because there's no true existence, or there's no true existence in the object. Everything is imputation of your mind, arising of mental imprint. But the thing is, Saudantika was a Chitta Matra, they assert mind has to be true existent. If mind has no basis of true existence, mind won't have ability to perceive the object. You see, perceive the object like the vase. Even though the vase from its own side is lacking of true existence, but from the subject, the mind does not have, if don't have the true existent capability, then mind won't able to perceive vase. So the capability, the mind to able to perceive vase, actualize vase, actualize the object, the main capability is the true existing capability of the mind, you see. So that is extreme in relation to the subject, you see. So now, when it comes to Pasangika Madhyamika, the final emptiness view of Shakyamuni Buddha, the emptiness view that asserted by Nagarjuna, such as Chandrakirti, Dharmakirti, such as Lama Tsongkhapa, then there's, in order to actualize existing does not need to depend any of the fabricated basis, such as inherent basis, substantial basis, true existent basis, independent basis, both on the subject and object. If in fact, if there is inherent basis on this, either on the subject or object, then in fact you cannot actualize existent, like such as vase. An example: if you want to actualize a vase, the capability to really there's existence of vase can able to do so when there's a complete lacking of inherent existence on the vase, as well as there's a lacking of inherent existence on the mind that perceiving the vase. Then vase definitely exists. Vase definitely exists because it exists by clearing the two extreme of nihilism and internalism, and actualized simply in the existence of merely labeled by mind. Okay, mainly labeled by mind. You see, so like that. Understanding this, do not take the mind inherent sign of subject and object. This is the practice of Bodhisattva. So now, this particular verse is a guideline for us to take on to the absorption meditation. So first, as guided, as we discussed just now, understand the meaning, as explained. Then after that, when the understanding is fully matured in your mind, then you come to a position that entire existence, both subject and object, entire existence, both subject and object, lies in the nature of complete empty of two extreme, empty of nihilism and empty of internihilism, and establish the middle way, establish the existence of everything, existence of samsara, existence of nirvana, existence of I, existence of others, existence of possibility of oneself purifying all the defilements, existence of possibility of oneself actualizing Buddhahood. Everything exists simply in the imputation of your mind. Simply exists merely labeled by the mind. Okay, so then you have a sense of union of complete union of nothing, non-existent at the same time existent. There's a sense of, there's a concluding understanding in your mind that exists but do not exist. Exists merely labeled by mind but do not exist inherently. You see. So there's a sense of void of losing the grasping in everything, yet there's a sense of alive, sense of existence that you feel, very much kind of comfort. If this experience you expand furthermore, then there's experience of union of great bliss and emptiness. So you develop from this very basic meditation, you intensify, single-pointed concentration on that object of meditation on emptiness, which is idea or the feeling or the experience of union of void at the same time existent. Union of great bliss, union of bliss and emptiness. Okay, union of bliss, where the bliss comes from, because of you lose grasping. That's why you feel relief. You relieve from the stress of grasping. You see, you feel uh, you feel existent. How you feel existent? You feel the existent because you feel bliss. You feel empty because of, you are released from the grasping, you see. So then you meditate on that feeling, that understanding, that conclusion, that one feeling of union of bliss and emptiness. You meditate single-pointedly, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, like that. So you do repeatedly like this, day to day. So this is the emptiness meditation, to be taken on the session, meditation session. So during meditation session, how to meditate on emptiness in relation to this verse, you should meditate like that. So like this. So this is how the Bodhisattvas would practice. This is how the Bodhisattva, ordinary Bodhisattva, they progress through this practice. They progress. Those who aspire to become Bodhisattva as a beginner like us, put great effort, daily training, meditation like this, then eventually, they actualize bodhicitta. First their compassion develop, their wisdom of selfless develop. Then gradually they enter into the path. You see, then they realize, the conceptual realization of emptiness first. Then after continuous such meditation, eventually they realize emptiness directly. They become Arya being, like that. Then after that, they use this meditative absorption with a full force. Now this union of great bliss and emptiness, this meditation on emptiness, become very matured, the meditative absorption state of the path and ground. So then they use this meditation as an antidote to destroy all the defilement on the stages of the 10 bhumis, and that's how they actualize enlightenment. You see, so like that. So this is the how we should meditate. Okay, so now verse 23 and verse 24. So this is the emptiness wisdom to be utilized after after the meditation, during the post meditation, during our usual activities. When you go to work, when you are just doing cooking, you're doing normal things, and the teaching on verse 23 and verse 24 is the guideline for us how to practice. Okay. So it says like this: when you encounter attractive object, though they seems beautiful, like a rainbow in the summer, do not regard them as real and give up attachment. This is the practice of Bodhisattva. So verse 23, very much transforming, all goodness that comes in your way onto a path by overcoming the obstacle of delusions, such as ego, attachment, etc. Verse 24 is very much taking all the adversities, obstacles, negativities on the path. So you see. So now the verse 23 is when you encounter attractive objects, when you encounter, attractive or physical attractive objects, or whatever, desirous thoughts arises, or through feeling, through touch, through smell, etc. Whatever the things that boost or trigger your attachment grasping, then we have to remember immediately, these are all like a rainbow in the summer, you know. So the object that you see and the heart that you express as attachment, including of those heart that express attachment, like a liking. All these are very much like how you relate to a summer rainbow, a rainbow in the summer. You know, those objects that you feel so beautiful, they are exactly like the summer rainbow. You see, it looks beautiful, but do not do not exist in reality. Do not exist in absolute. You know, do not exist in absolute. You see, it just, when you look at them, it's beautiful. You know, it's colorful. You know, but when you go to grab it, there's nothing to grab. It is empty, like that. You know, then including of your mind that which express attachment, also to be understood, like how you would relate your heart when you see rainbow in the summer. You feel so beautiful, isn't it? But then if you really wait for it is lasting, it doesn't last forever. If you you know, if there's a way to go and really to go and grab it, there's nothing to grab. You know, as far as concerned the rainbow, it's just conditionally appear, but it does not, you know, exist permanently or inherently. You know, so you should regard like that for anything that you you know, you arise attachment. You know, one should get reminded like that. You know, so do not regard them as a real and give up attachment. You see, so give up attachment here meaning give up grasping. You see, you may like it, you may use it, like you know, beautiful vase for flower. You know, it is okay to like it, and if it's beautiful, you use it, but then don't grasp onto it. Meaning, don't grasp as inherent, don't grasp as a permanent. You know, don't grasp as something, you know, is totally as it is the way you see first time. You see, because the vase, if you let go of the grasping, when you utilize the vase, if in case the vase breaks, you know, you don't get hurt. In case later you see another better vase, you know, you don't feel regret. You see, so you can protect your mind from all the disturbances, you know, delusional disturbances. That is the benefit, you see. So that similar goes to, you know, attachment to, you know, human, attachment to, you know, money, attachment to status, you know, all the worldly concerns, you know, all the 8 worldly concerns are, it's exactly like the rainbow, exactly like the summer was a rainbow in the summer, you know, rainbow in the summertime, like that. So when status, when money, when friends, you know, everybody comes your way, you just acknowledge it, you treasure with the respect, but then don't grasp onto it, like, you know, this person going to be forever, you know, forever, the way exactly how I feel now, you know, it will be forever. It doesn't remain there, because the nature is impermanent, isn't it? You know, then the money also is, you know, once comes in your way, you think that you know, this is ultimate, or this is forever, you know, and you grasp onto it. You know, it can just turn out to be just simply a paper. You know, it turned out to be just valueless, you know, or it may loss or whatever, you see. And similar, now you relate this practice, the main practice is that we need to relate that to our own body, which is one of the most desirous object, you know, one of the most grasped object in our life, you see. You know, we work whole life to protect our body, you see, and we protect it, we grasp, we believe as if it's mine. In fact, our body is not ours. It is in fact our parents. It belongs to our parents. Even the substantial level, the substance, substance is not belong to us. When we came from past life, we just simply came in as a continuum of consciousness. That's it. We don't have the continuum of the physical body that we carry. The physical body we carry is in fact is grown from father and mother's semen and egg, father, mother's substance, you see. So in fact, this body belongs to our parents, you see. But then we claim as it's my body, then, you really attach and grasp until that if anything goes wrong with this body, we suffer so much, and we put so much effort to glory about this body, You see, we have so much, basically, whatever, work that we do is very much to protect this body, because we buy home to shelter this body, isn't it? If we don't have this physical body, if we have only our continuum consciousness, we don't need house, isn't it? We don't need, because our consciousness, no need to worry about rain and the sun, no need protection. Because of this body, we need house, so we work whole life to make house, you see, to have house. Then, we work whole life to gather foods and feed every day, at least 3 times, It's so costly, isn't it? If we really think of our real continuum, it's just a consciousness, consciousness no need to eat food, there's no stomach, you see. But our body, this requires so much consumptions, and if the only consciousness, we don't have to wear clothes, you see. But because of this body, we have to spend so much money to buy clothes, to wear, etc., like that, you see. So, and all these are very much, done on the basis of is my body. There's an ego-centered, self-grasping attitude is there. On the basis of that, all this karma have been, committed, you see. In actual fact, there's no, in actual reality, it is not your body. It is others' body, You just simply rent it from other, to host. It's like a hotel. It's like a hotel, you go to, rent for a few days, like that. So we rented this body like a hotel from our parents, to live in for this period of human life. After that, it's separate. But the problem is because of the fabricated mind, we grasp so much as I, that when we comes to the moment of dying, then the greatest pain, the worst suffering that we go through, anybody go through, is separation from your body and you. It's like your body is separating, you see, from you. So when we go through this dissolution of the 4 elements, then the 80 conceptual dissolutions, at the time of dying. These are the main dissolution. The suffering from dissolution is very much to do with very much to do with the strongest grasping that we cultivated, throughout our life, and that is one of them is very much about your own body, your own body. You see, so like that. So therefore, we have to meditate to understand that, my relation to this body is very much that I'm relating to a rainbow in the summer. If I go to search myself within this body, from crown to toe, I cannot find myself. I am not within the body. I'm not without the body. I'm not part of the body. I'm not every part of the body, or I'm as well as I'm not part of one of the body. I'm not the heart. I'm not the brain. You see. So in short, through this understanding, then whenever we have a strong attachment in relation to the needs of our body, or strong attachment in relation to our body, then the moment we regard it is like a rainbow in the summer, so that helps, you see. So, so in short, whenever we hear, unpleasant, whenever we realize some unpleasant thing happening in relation to our body, like health issues, or doctor says that, okay, now you got this problem, that problem to your body, then that time, if we relate like how we relate to the rainbow in the summer, like that, an example to our body, then we don't get frightened. We can protect our mind from those scary scenario that, wow, now my body is degenerating, and I may die, that kind of very scary moments you can able to avoid like that. See, then whenever you hear bad news, you also regard the news, the sound, as like a like an echo, just simply an echo. There's no essence. You see, it's like a rainbow in the summer. Again, if you go to investigate, you cannot find the real essence there. So similar goes to all the objects, all the negative experience in relation to our life. In everything should be interpreted like that, you see. And that way, Bodhisattvas, they practice like that, then they protect their mind, from the disturbances of all the delusions, all the negative experiences in their life. So they're able to sustain their inner peace all the time, like just a few days ago, His Holiness Dalai Lama's teaching, His Holiness emphasize again and again. He says that he's always live in peace. There's no worry, there's no concern. Even though there are so much things going on in the world, and especially related to Tibet, there's so much thing going on, but he still can secure his inner peace, is because of the practice of bodhicitta and emptiness. And that's exactly what His Holiness at the end conclusion advice is that everyone to be practice, bodhicitta and emptiness, you see. So this is how they do, how the Bodhisattva practice. So we too, we do not wish to haunted by negative experiences. Then, during the post meditation, in every negative, experiences, we should be interpreted like that. Okay, now verse 24. Oh, sorry. So verse 23 is, I should talk about all the good things. I mix up everything together. Yeah. So anyway, it's okay. Now here, so verse 23 is very much carrying the mindfulness in the practice of the antidote to the ego and attachment, by not attaching them, by simply seeing essenceless in them. So like that. So now verse 24 is, all forms of sufferings are like a child's death in the dream. Holding illusory appearance to be true makes you weary. Therefore, when you meet with desirable, disagreeable circumstances, see them as illusory. This is the practice of Bodhisattva. All forms of suffering, suffering of pain, suffering of change, pervasive suffering, all the experiences that in samsara, in actual reality, including of those pleasures, are suffering. You see, more than that, suffering of pain, and suffering of change, when it comes in our way, is very painful. So whenever such experience comes in your way, then we as a practitioner should regard them like a child's death in the dream. Is very much like a dream. You see, the beloved mother, dream of her beloved child pass away in the dream. The pain is very much like equal as in real time. The child is really passed away like that. But then when she wake up, the child is right there, and just simply, be free from, simply recognizing, that was just a dream, then you get free from the tormenting, from the sufferings like that. So therefore, any form of suffering comes in our way, then we should understand the emptiness nature, impermanent nature, lack of substantial nature, lack of inherent nature. By understanding that, then you just simply say, this is just a expression of my fabricated mind. This is just expressions of my hallucination. This is just expressions of my ignorance. This is just expressions of my false mind. In reality, there's no such inherent real pain out there, real obstacle out there. So we have to get reminded like that, So holding illusory presence to be true makes you, so holding on to the the dream as a real, can be very painful, can be very, very tormenting, but then if you understand dream as a dream, or illusory as a illusory, then one can be free from the worry, one can free from the suffering, you see. So therefore, whatever we experience in our life, it is like a dream, it is like an illusory, So therefore, in the practice of emptiness, during post-meditation, we should be carrying the awareness of illusory-like, view, or dream-like view, when we relate to everything, you see. So whatever experience, negative experience comes in our way, we recognize them as fall as a false, then we won't grasp to suffer, how it by grasping at how it appears, you see, so like that. So therefore, when you meet with the disagreeable circumstances, see them as illusory. So whenever you see, whenever you experience, disagreeable, unpleasant, unwanted things, unwanted circumstances comes in your way, then immediately tell to yourself, this is like an illusory, it has essenceless, the problem that seeming to comes in my way, in actual fact, there's essenceless. It is like illusory. I see them as a problem because of my hallucinated mind. But in the actual fact, there's no problem. There's no inherent problem out there. So from that, so just simply that understanding, able to protect yourself from the haunting, from the problem like this. So this is what Bodhisattvas, used to practice. You see, again, one example, like His Holiness. His Holiness is the one who went through one of the most trouble in life. Like since little childhood, experience of losing country, and so many people died, etc. If he stay alive, grasping towards all of them, it will be unbelievable suffering. There's no way to have any peace. But because of he see all this as illusional like, dream like, he interpret them in emptiness, and that way he can able to secure his inner peace. At the same time, he can accumulate more interdependent causes to solve all those problems. So that's why, like His Holiness is like really like a symbol of peace in the world, symbol of strength in the world, and a symbol of compassion in the world. Even though he went through so much obstacle in life, all these are result of the practice of emptiness, practice of bodhicitta. You see, so like that. Okay. Okay, so now verse 25 onward, the practice of the six paramita. It is also can be understood that very much like, practice of six paramita is very much like practicing the Bodhisattva precept or Bodhisattva vow, like that. Once you inspire to develop bodhicitta and altruistic wisdom and altruistic attitude, then the practitioner, really commit themselves to develop it by taking Bodhisattva vows. So, inspiring Bodhisattva vows, engaging Bodhisattva vows. So then once they take the vow, so they live in they guide their life according with the precept. And that is very much like living a life or guiding their life according with the practice of six paramita. You can interpret Bodhisattva vow, in another word, you can understand as the practice of six paramita. Or you can also understand practice of six paramita and the Bodhisattva precept, the three, what do you call three moralities, practice of three moralities, the morality of abstaining from harm, and morality of gathering virtue, and morality of benefiting sentient being, So when you practice these three morality, you're practicing the Bodhisattva vows. You're practicing six paramita, you see. So at this right here, in this text, the Bodhisattva vows or the three morality very much, illustrated from the practice of six paramita. So it says like this. So first one is generosity. When those who want enlightenment must give even their body, there's no need to mention external things. Therefore, without hope of return or any fruition, give generosity. This is the practice of Bodhisattva. So when you practice Bodhisattva's path, your aim is to achieve full enlightenment. In order to achieve full enlightenment, you need to actualize perfection in generosity, the practice of generosity. So that means there will be a time that you even need to give your own bodies, all your belongings, including of your body, your organs. Of course, such practice only can be practiced when you reach high level of path. Ordinary people like us, we are in fact not allowed to practice when you are not qualified to practice. You see, you can practice giving your body, giving giving your organs, body, lively, when you are confident that when you are confident that it does not hurt others, it does not hurt yourself, it does not abuse your body, like that, you see. And you need to have a absolute free from regrets. You need to have a complete matured heart of giving, completely free from miserliness, so then you don't get harmed like that. So anyway, at first we had to practice with giving what we are capable to, giving material gifts, giving protections, giving dharma gifts, you see. So the generosity, there are three: generosity of material gifts, generosity of protection, and generosity of dharma, you see. So these are, you can practice now according with your ability, giving money, giving clothes, giving medicines in your very best. This is a material gift. Then giving protection, when someone is in danger of life, protecting them. It can be any situation and it can be any method, as long as you are protecting, danger from their life. You can do that with animals, those animals who are at slaughter place, and you do animal liberation. You are giving protection to those animals, you can do that to human also, so like that. So Dharma generosity is sharing Dharma with others, sharing, about love, compassion, bodhicitta, emptiness, sharing lamrim, lojong, any form of Buddhist treatise, Buddhist values, like such as, practicing of compassion, practicing of interdependent rising emptiness to anyone, to others, either in the discussion, either as a teacher, either just simply in the coffee table, you just simply talk about it, and others get influenced with the Dharma. Is the Dharma generosity, So among these three generosity, Dharma generosity is regarded as supreme, because Dharma generosity not only helped poverty of their virtue in this life, but it also helps to result, liberation and enlightenment. So due to that reason, so generosity of Dharma is supreme generosity, like that. Okay. So when those who want enlightenment must give even their body. So no question about all these three types of generosity. One day even we need to make a charity of our own body. There's no need to mention external things. And therefore, without hope of return or fruition, give generosity. So when we do practice generosity, one of the most important to be quality generosity or real generosity is heart of complete heart of giving, free from complete, free from miserliness. So when you're free from miserliness, then there's no hope for return. There's no hope for fruition from that practice. So this is how Bodhisattva will practice. Then the second is the morality. So without this ethic, you cannot accomplish your own well-being. So wanting to accomplish others lovable. Therefore, without worldly aspiration, safeguard your ethical discipline. This is the practice of the Bodhisattva. So without ethic, then you cannot accomplish your own well-being. You cannot accomplish even the liberation. You cannot accomplish even this worldly, this very lifetime's well-beings, such as fame, respect, all this won't achieve if you don't have ethics, you see. Then no question about spiritual liberation. Without ethic, you see, spiritual liberation, including of enlightenment, has to be achieved by actualizing direct realization on wisdom, emptiness. And in order to do that, you need to actualize the concentration, the practice of shamatha. In order to do that, in order to realize emptiness and shamatha, you need to have foundations of pure morality. So pure morality is the foundation or the cause for the later two higher trainings, you see. So therefore, for spiritual practice, without morality, we can't gain any realizations on the path, you see, so like that. So no question, if without morality can't accomplish any gain to your life, your benefit, then no question about, bringing benefit to others. Without morality, there's no compassion. You see, compassion is one of the most important tool to benefit others. Compassion and love, unconditional love and compassion is the main tool to offer benefit to others. You see, the most amazing tool to benefit others is bodhicitta. But bodhicitta bodhicitta is a result of great compassion. Great compassion is a result of ordinary compassion. And that ordinary compassion, developed on the basis of ethical discipline, you see. So what do you mean by ethical discipline? So there are three types of ethical discipline. The moral ethic of abstaining from negativities, moral ethics of gathering virtues, moral ethic of benefiting sentient beings. So these are the three moral ethics, you see. So without these three moral ethics, no way we can develop genuine compassion. If you are unable to develop genuine compassion, no way you can develop great compassion. If unable to develop great compassion, no way able to develop bodhicitta. If unable to do that, then no way we can benefit, rest of the numberless sentient beings, you see. So when there's no compassion, you cannot benefit, no question about benefiting all sentient beings. You cannot benefit even one other person. If there's no compassion, you cannot benefit even one other person, you see. So like that. So therefore, moral ethic is the basis or the foundation to offer benefit to others as well as offer benefit to yourself. So therefore, without worldly aspiration, safeguard your ethical disciplines, you see. So therefore, sincerely, one should safeguard one's body, speech, and mind from harming others, from not gathering from virtues, or from not engaging in benefiting beings, you see. So one must put effort. One must put effort as much as possible to guard our three doors from committing negative karma, such as like those of 10 non-virtues are the, three of body, four of speech, and three of the heart, So those are the negativities should be avoided. Then gathering virtue, basic virtues, 10 virtues, 10 virtues, like that. Then benefiting sentient being, then you at least, speak kindly, be helpful to anyone, start with your partner, your children, your parent, like that, you see. So you start with that. And first of all, of course, you start with being kind to yourself, being gentle to yourself, being respectful to yourself, you see, then to others, like that, you see. So, these are the practice of Bodhisattva. So Bodhisattva always, Bodhisattva's main job is to abstain from negativities, gather virtues, and offer benefit to sentient beings. So we too should be practiced like that. So verse 27 is the practice of patience. It says, to Bodhisattva who won a wealth of virtues, those who harm are like a precious treasure. Therefore, toward cultivate patience without hostility. This is the practice of Bodhisattva. So there are, again, three types of patience, you see. The patience of not retaliating toward those who harm you. The patience of willingly enduring suffering for the benefit of others. And patience of discriminating awareness of Dharma. So that is in particularly patient, being patient in the pursuit of Dharma practices, Dharma practices. Because when you practice Dharma, not easy, especially when you practice Bodhisattva's path, not easy, you see. Especially in today's world, you see, to be kind to others also not easy, to be helpful to others also not easy. Sometimes people will criticize you, people will misinterpret you, people will jeopardize you, people will, people simply, ingratitude to you. So it's not easy, you see. So therefore, when we practice virtues, when we practice Dharma, you need a lot of patience, you see. Then more than that, when you practice Dharma for enlightenment, for the benefit of all sentient beings, even the time may take 3 countless years. So you need to have a patience to practice so that long, and you need to have patience to practice to be able to benefit to rest of the numberless sentient beings, the numberless sentient beings, So we know how hard to benefit one person, how hard to be patient with one person, one one difficult friend, one difficult partner, one difficult children, one difficult parent, or whatever, you know, is how hard, isn't it? So no question about it going to be extremely hard when you start to find way to benefit all sentient beings. So you require a tremendous patience of discriminating awareness of Dharma. Then patience of willingly enduring suffering, you see. So again, you know, we need this patience of willingly enduring suffering, you know, that, you know, taking all the sufferings, the problems while practicing Dharma, while benefiting sentient being, you know, while being good person, you know, everything as a path to betterment for yourself. Yeah, you see, for the benefit of all sentient beings. You see, yeah, you know. Then, as a Buddhist, you know, basic Buddhist understanding, whenever suffering comes in our way, it's a purification of past negative karma. So when you understand that, then you're able to endure the suffering. You know, whenever problem comes in our way, we have to understand, we have to interpret that, you know, in accordance with how karmic law and effects does. You know, then when suffering, the problem comes in our way, then in the practice of Mahayanic Dharma, there's a Tonglen practice, taking and giving practice, you see. So whenever you suffer, you take all other sentient beings suffering. So you see, so you are already suffering. Now, if you don't have a great patience, how you'll be able to take other suffering on top of that is not possible, isn't it? So it requires immense of patience, enduring suffering, in order to even perfect the practice of Tonglen, in order to bring effective purification of karma, you know, like that, you see. Then patience to not retaliating to those who harm you, you know, in the practice of Bodhisattva. Then like what the adverses says, you know, whenever I see beings who are wicked in nature and overwhelmed by violence, negative action, and suffering, I shall hold such a rare one dear, and if I had found a precious treasure, you know, like that, you see. Then when out of envy others mistreat me with abuse, insult, or alike, I shall accept defeat and offer the victory to others, like that. Yeah, you see. Then when someone whom I have benefited and in whom I have great hopes give me terrible harm, I shall regard that person as my holy guru, you know. So practice like that. This is how Bodhisattva was practiced, you know. Yeah, this is how the Bodhisattva will practice. You see, this is a practice of patience, of not retaliating toward those who harm you, you know, with this understanding. So therefore, you know, Bodhisattvas who won the wealth of virtues, you know, Bodhisattva who are pursuing the wealth of virtues of enlightenment. So for them, whoever comes in their way to harm them, you know, they you know, as I read from the adverses of transformation, they regard them as like a found a precious treasure, you know. And with that reason, then you cultivate the patience, you know, without any hostility, without revengefulness, you know, rather with so much compassion, you practice patience. So this is the practice of Bodhisattva. So again, this is so important, so beneficial in our day-to-day life, you know, especially as I mentioned in today's time, is you know, you do good also, you know, there's some people misunderstand and harm you. When you do bad, of course you're going to get harmed. So you see, so whatever way, you can't you know, go and change the outer environment, isn't it? As long as you change yourself, you equip the armor, protections of patience then you are completely, protected. Nothing can harm you. You see, like that. You see. So this is about the patient. Okay, verse 28. This is the joyous perseverance, joyous effort. Since hero and solitary realizers who accomplish only their own good strive as if to put out a fire on their head, for the sake of all beings, make joyful effort towards source of all good quality. This is the practice of the Bodhisattva. You see, such as the heroes and solitary realizers from Hinayana path, those who pursue individual liberation, self-liberation. For them, when they pursue their, self, just one person, their own self-benefit of liberation, when they strive the path, the practice, they practice as if like, they are put on fire on their head, like that, strive as if to put out to fire on their head, like when someone, when your head got fire burned, without hesitation, without moment of waiting, you want to, extinguish the fire, isn't it? Isn't it? That's, you will put full effort, without, completely free from all the laziness, you will rush to put fire off, isn't it? So now, as for Bodhisattva, who are pursuing full enlightenment, which is already ultimate and greatest benefit to yourself. On top of that, enlightenment is enlightenment for all sentient beings. That is ultimate and greatest benefit to numberless sentient beings. Pursuing these two greatest goals, then no question that you have to be free from entirety of laziness and fully motivated, invested, your motivated and invested your energy and time, to pursue the path, you see. So giving the analogy of putting out a fire on your head is very much, referring to freeing from the three type of laziness. Yeah, three type of laziness, which is the main obstacle for us to, first of all, pursue virtuous life. Secondly, to pursue path, the Dharma. And thirdly, to pursue the highest Dharma, the altruistic Dharma, the enlightenment, you see. So the first laziness is the self-discouragement, self-discouragement. It's saying that, oh, I can't do it. I don't have ability to do it, not me, When it comes to enlightenment, it's not me, I cannot even I cannot even be happy now. How can I work for the benefit of numberless sentient beings and pursue the path of enlightenment? Not possible, So that is the laziness of self-discouragement, They say, oh, I won't, take initiations because those, the commitments are too, even though the benefits is one lifetime enlightenment, but the commitments are too much. I can't dedicate, I'm just too busy. I can't, I don't have the capability of wisdom to understand, So all these are self-discouragement. Then when we talk about practicing bodhicitta, bodhicitta is just too hard, Great compassion is just too hard, so it's not for me, So this is a self-discouragement like that. Oh, Dharma is, too hard. I rather I rather enjoy my worldly life. Dharma is just too hard. Dharma is too precious. Only those lamas, sanghas can practice. Not me. Not me. I'm still layperson. I won't be able to practice all those great dharmas. So these are all laziness, self-discouragement. You see. So meaning that anyone, everyone has the full opportunity, full capability to practice the entire Dharma, pursue, the highest level of liberation, which is full enlightenment. You see, whether you're a lay person, whether you're an ordained person, whether you're female, male, everyone has the capability, because Dharma, Buddha taught the Dharma in accordance with your individual mental capability, and there's 84,000 different methods out there. One of those methods suits you perfectly, suits to anyone perfectly. You see, so therefore, you need to have the heart of, I can do it, I will do it. I can benefit sentient being. I can actualize enlightenment. I can actualize, I can realize bodhicitta, I can realize emptiness, as long as I put effort, as long as I put joyous effort, like that. Mm-hmm. Then the second one is I think I already mentioned also, what do you call is this, the one is self-discouragement. Another one is the how to translate? One is always talking low about yourself. Another one is the just simply kind of giving up, say that I won't able to do it. So it's very similar. So those two. Mm-hmm. Then another, the third kind of laziness is the distraction to the comparing between Dharma and non-Dharma, get distracted in non-Dharma activities. Comparing virtue and non-virtue, distracted with non-virtuous activities. So those distractions are also called laziness. So in short, to be free from this type of laziness, you see. So from the antidote side, there are three types of joyous effort. First one is armor-like joyous effort, joyous effort. And then joyous effort of gathering virtue, second one, and joyous effort in serving sentient beings, you see. So armor-like joyous effort is very much to protect from this three type of laziness. Joyous effort gathering virtue, of course, by knowing the benefit, advantage of virtues, Dharma, then that way that you will have a joyous effort of gathering virtue. Then if you know the advantage of benefiting sentient being, then you will have a joyous effort in serving sentient beings, like that. Okay, so now, okay. Verse 29. So this is the karma biting, shamatha. Understanding that disturbing emotions are destroyed by special insight with karma biting, cultivate concentration which surpass the four formless, the four formless absorption. This is the practice of the Bodhisattva. understanding the disturbing emotions are destroyed. There are 5 different kind of obstacles to shamatha. Again, one of them is lazy. So when you, I will not go through the, all the details. Then 8 antidotes, like very clearly stated in Lamrim, 5 obstacles and 8 antidotes. Understanding that disturbing emotions are destroyed, such as 5 obstacles are destroyed. Then by special insight with karma biting. So here, by special insight with karma biting is referring to karma biting or the shamatha on the basis of emptiness as an object of karma biting, emptiness as an object of shamatha. So when we say normally just shamatha, the object can be emptiness or other than emptiness. When we talk about special insight combined with the shamatha, or special insight, special insight on the basis of shamatha or karma biting, then the object of the meditation of that particular training of karma biting has to be emptiness. So now here, cultivating concentration. So cultivating concentration which surpasses the 4 formless absorption. So the 4 formless absorption, the infinite, the formless absorption of infinite space, formless absorption of infinite consciousness, then formless absorption of formless absorption of limitless space and limitless consciousness, and formless absorption of nothingness. So the shamatha has to be surpassed from these 3 types of concentration, formless concentration, making this particular shamatha has to be qualified to carry on the karma biting. Qualified to carry on the special insight practice, which meaning the shamatha here has to be trained in emptiness. So the bodhisattvas would do that. So the bodhisattvas, when they train in shamatha, they don't use, they straight away use the object of their karma biting or the shamatha training as emptiness. So that way, later, when they come to maturity, they're straight away able to practice special insight. Those many other common practitioners, they may not choose emptiness as an object of karma biting. They may develop shamatha or karma biting on other meditation object. Can be Buddha's image, can be light, can be anything, but not necessarily emptiness. And that way, you will not able to straight away bring, upgrade your practice on the special insight. Even of those karma biting or was it absorption, like such, this 3 formless absorption are not qualified to directly upgrade into the practice of special insight. So in short, the meaning is those who aspire Bodhisattva's path, then one should train one's own concentration or shamatha or karma biting using emptiness as an object of your meditation. So that's the point. Okay. So when you do that, the main thing that you need to be aware of is the general 5 obstacles and applications of 8 antidote, and using the 9 stages of the shamatha mind training. By utilizing that, then when you achieve the 9 stages of the karma biting, immediately without pause or without needed any transmission, that you can directly take off to the practice of special insight. When you're able to take off, the benefit of taking off straight way into the practice of special insight is where you're able to effectively apply the direct antidote to the different defilements. And that way you can upgrade effectively ground to the ground, ground after ground. You can upgrade very steadily and very sweetly. That's the main reason. Okay, now I have to be quick. Now, verse 30. Since the 5 perfection without wisdom cannot bring perfect enlightenment, along with the skillful means, cultivate the wisdom that does not conceive 3 spheres as real. This is the practice of Bodhisattva. So the earlier 5 paramita practice alone cannot fulfill the ambition of actualizing Buddhahood. So you need to, practice the wisdom. In order to achieve Buddhahood, you need to be perfected in the wisdom too. So therefore, you need to practice wisdom. So what that wisdom, of course, is talking about emptiness. But here, one very practical practice in day-to-day life, how Bodhisattva would practice is the cultivate the wisdom that does not conceive 3 spheres as real. So 3 spheres as real. 3 spheres is the motivation, the action, and the conclusion, or the initial starting of any activities, and the actual activities, and the conclusion. Usually, like when we accumulate virtue, first you do motivation, then after that you accumulate the action of virtue, then at the end you dedicate, isn't it? And our day-to-day also can divide into 3 sections, starting, in middling, and conclusion section. Our 24 hours can divide into that. Our day can divide into that. Our sleep can divide into that. Before go to sleep, the actual sleep, and at awakening. Our life also can divide into this 3. The life that once you start to practice Dharma, and then during the training on the path, then including the actualizing of the result. So Bodhisattva, what they do is everything, they try to understand lack of inherent existence of these 3 spheres, lacking of inherent existence, lacking of, it's a 3 spheres as a real, means lacking of these 3 activities or 3 moments or 3 practices as a lacking of true existence, inherent existence, independence, substantial existence. In another word, all these 3 things to be understood in emptiness. So this is the way that you, as a beginner, you accumulate causes to actualize emptiness. When you actualize conceptual realization of emptiness, this will help to realize emptiness directly eventually. When you realize emptiness directly, you continue to practice this way, then your emptiness wisdom become more and more effective in applications as an antidote to the defilement along the grounds, around the 10 grounds or the 10 bhumis, you see. So that's what it meant. Yeah. Okay, so of course here you can also discuss more extensively on the emptiness teaching, but I think maybe this, according with just a brief word meaning, I think this is good. Also, our time is finishing, so I think I will stop here. Then we continue verse 31. So these are the, from here onward, very much of, some specific, advisory, teachings. So it says, if you do not examine your error, you may look like a practitioner, but not act as one. Therefore, always examine your own error, rid yourself of them. And this is the practice of Bodhisattvas. So Bodhisattvas, always check their mind, always check their mind, And whenever there is negativities, or even their practices are contaminated by eight worldly concern, they immediately, do purification practice and do reform, their practice like that, Then even after they conclude what we discussed earlier, on the emptiness, the emptiness dedication on the three, 3 points. Even after that, they check carefully, they really done properly or not. If they haven't done, they correct them and they make sure, do properly. So in short, they always make sure carry correct motivation, make sure that all the activity conduct according with the motivation, make sure they do pure dedication. So these are the very consistent Bodhisattvas day-to-day practices like that. You see, like what adversary says, vigilant the moment the delusion appear in my mind, engage endangering myself and others, I shall confront and avert it without delay. So this is how Bodhisattva would practice, you see. So some of the, these practitioners, they carry like a number of, 2 colors of kind of stones, like or grains, like pea, black one and white one, like that. So whenever they realize something went wrong, they put the black. Whenever they accumulate virtue, they put the white one. So at the end of the day or at the end of the session, they calculate. If they see more black, then they try to do purification practice and they try to improve from next day. When they see more the virtue, then they rejoice and they try to get it more encouraged, to conduct, pursue the virtue like that. Okay, verse 32. If through the influence of disturbing emotion, you point out the faults of Bodhisattva, you yourself are diminished. So do not mention the faults of those who have entered the great vehicle. This is the practice of Bodhisattva. So one of very important practice as a Mahayanic practitioner, never talk bad thing about others, never talk bad thing about Dharma brothers, sisters. Very important. And then especially no way you can talk bad thing about lay people, talk about bad thing about Sangha, and among the talk about Sangha, then no question about talk about the gurus, talk about the masters, talk about the practitioner, talk about Bodhisattvas, Buddhas, no way. Then even among the Sangha, the pre-ordained Sangha cannot talk bad thing about the novice, the novice, fully ordained Sanghas. Novice cannot talk about, fully ordained Sanghas, faults, Then of course, also the fully ordained Sangha cannot talk negative about all the rest of the follower ones, the earlier ones. So in short, we cannot talk negative about anyone. That is one of very, very important practice of those who follow Mahayanic path, those who follow Bodhisattva path. See, if there are people who always talk bad thing about others, who always talk good thing about themselves, that shows their heart is empty of practice, empty of practice of the Bodhisattvas practices. You see, so like that. When we talk about the consequences, negative karma that we accumulate by criticizing gurus, criticizing Bodhisattvas, is tremendous, heavy karma. Even talking bad thing about our Dharma brothers, sisters, heavy karma. So, if we see any limitation in others, then you try to, rather, instead of insulting others, we should ourselves continue to improve and continue to influence others with goodness rather than, try to correct others by pointing the faults, So you see, so in our ordinary world, we see if someone is doing faults and then we finger point them, sometimes we think that that's better. But in the Dharma, in particularly Bodhisattva's conduct, we cannot cause harm to anyone through our body, speech, and mind. How bad that those people are, how negative people those are. Even your Dharma brother, sister doing so negative, they are still object of your compassion. You have to help them, through compassionate way, not by, harming way, you see. So these are very important practical practices, Verse 33, reward and respect cause us to quarrel and make hearing, thinking, and meditating decline. For this reason, give up attachment to the household of friends, relations, benefactors, and this is a practice of Bodhisattva. So here again, not talking about give up friend, give up relative, give up benefactor. It's not talking about that. It's simply meaning, not to grasp onto them, not to attach onto them. In another word, it's talking about free from eight worldly concerns, free from eight worldly concerns, free from attachment, free from attachment, material to people who did good to you, whatever, As a Bodhisattva practitioner, you have to be nice, you have to be kind, you have to be good to equally to everybody, that's talking about that. Verse 34, harsh word disturb the mind of others and the cause deterioration in the Bodhisattva's conduct. Therefore, give up harsh words, which are unpleasant to others. This is the practice of Bodhisattva. Yes, harsh word. Everything. As we talk about even about emptiness, everything is imputed by mind, imputed by label. Imputed by label, isn't it? So therefore, we have to be very careful of labeling anything with harsh way. One of very important practice of the Bodhisattva, of course, this is important for everybody, who do not want to harm others and who want happiness to yourself, never to speak harsh to anybody. But especially for the Bodhisattva practitioner, then especially you have taken Bodhisattva vow, when you speak harsh to others, it breaks the conduct. Buddhist precepts, so we have to be very, very gentle, very, kind, nice way, they are talking about three types of speech, like a honey type of speech, like flower type of speech, then the another one is the muddy type of speech, so we shouldn't have the muddy type, the waste or muddy, stingy type of speech. We shouldn't have that. We should have a speech like a flower, speech like a honey, like where everybody, will taste sweetness, enjoy the beauty, the colors, like that. Then verse 35, habitual disturbing emotions are hard to stop through counteraction, armed with the antidotes and the guard of mindfulness and mental alertness. Destroy disturbing emotion like attachment at once, as soon as they arise. This is the practice of the Bodhisattva. So as I mentioned, as I read from the 8 verses of transformation, this is the meaning, vigilant, be mindful and vigilant, introspection towards our mind, our thoughts. The moment the delusion the moment a disturbing emotion appears in our mind, immediately, be mindful and be vigilant, thinking this will endanger my inner peace, myself, and also endanger others' inner peace and others. Therefore, without delay even a moment, that I must stop it. I must confront it. I must applicate the antidotes, like that. When attachment arises, apply the antidote to attachment, like the detachment. When anger arises, immediately be mindful of that and apply the antidote, patient, like that. Whenever laziness arises, immediately apply the joyous effort as an antidote, whenever there's a inherent grasping arises, then apply the antidote of emptiness, like that. Whenever self-cherishing attitude arises, immediately apply the antidote, such as bodhicitta, great compassion, like that, So this is how Bodhisattva would do that, and we should follow the example. Verse 36, in brief, whatever you are doing, ask yourself, what is the state of my mind? With constant mindfulness and mental alertness, accomplish others' good. This is the practice of Bodhisattva, So whatever we do, always check our motivation, in brief. Whatever you are doing, ask yourself, what is the state of my mind? Means check your motivation, whether you are doing retreat, pilgrimage, Dharma study, attending Dharma course, running the center, helping, becoming benefactor, or being helping hand, or whatever you do, always, in order to make whatever you do as pure Dharma, pure cause of enlightenment, pure cause of benefit to yourself, benefit to all others, you check your motivation, whether I have the bodhicitta motivation or not, whether I have a compassionate motivation or not, whether my motivation is free from eight worldly concern or not. You check carefully, you see. So as long as your motivation is free from eight worldly concern, as long as it is motivated by altruism, bodhicitta, then whatever action you do, through your bodhisattva mind, all going to be beneficial to you, beneficial to others, beneficial for now, beneficial for long future, including enlightenment. Verse 37. To remove the suffering of limitless beings, understanding the purity of the three spheres, dedicate the virtues from making such effort to enlightenment. This is the practice of Bodhisattva. Another important, not only importance of the motivation, but also its importance and importance of the middle of the action, then importance of dedication. So the dedication, not only dedicating in bodhicitta, but also dedicating in emptiness, you see. By dedicating in bodhicitta, your merit will last, your merit will be benefit to rest of the numberless sentient beings, from temporary happiness up to the ultimate happiness, enlightenment, benefit like that. By dedicating in emptiness, then your merit is completely sealed until actualized. It is a result. No negative emotion can destroy it. It is potential. It is value. You see. So if you don't dedicate in emptiness, then even how much merit you accumulate, then if anger arises, like one moment anger has the capability to destroy eons of accumulation of merit, isn't it? Then immediately will destroy it. So therefore, Bodhisattvas, whose ambition is accumulate greatest merit, and whenever they accumulate merit, either how slight merit it may be, they make sure dedicate in bodhicitta as well as dedicate in emptiness. The way to dedicate in emptiness is dedicating in three spheres. The dedicator yourself, and the merit, and the purpose of your dedicating, understanding in emptiness, as understanding as a lack of inherent existence, understanding as interdependent arising. So this is the way how you dedicate. Okay, now the conclusion verses. For those who want to train on the Bodhisattva path, I have written the 37 practice of the Bodhisattva, following what has been said by the excellent one on the meaning of the sutra, tantra, and treatise. So this Geshe Tome Sambo, for the benefit of someone that whoever want to actualize Bodhisattva's path towards enlightenment, then he composed this 37 practice of Bodhisattva. So he didn't make up this Bodhisattva, this teaching. He followed the authentic teaching that excellent Buddha have taught, great Panditas have taught, rely on the sutras and rely on the tantric teachings and rely on all the commentary treatises, So therefore, it's saying that this is a valid teaching, So this is the conclusion, Then after that, it says, though not poetically pleasing to scholars, owing to my poor intelligence and lack of hearing, lack of learning, I have relied on the sutras and the words of the excellent. So I think this Buddhist practice without error. So here, just the great Bodhisattva Tome Sambo being humble, at the same time validating his composition is valid without error. So he says that poetically or scholarly, he didn't compose this poetically or scholarly. So very straightforward, like a pit instruction, like that, talking to you directly like that, But this teaching carried the weight of authenticity because he followed the sutra. He followed the word of the Buddha and the word of the great successors of Buddhist teaching, the Panditas. So therefore, he have confidence that this teaching has no errors like that. Okay, thank you. So this complete the 37 practice of Bodhisattva by Geshe Tome Sambo. This teaching, Tome Sambo, there's another word here. Whoever has a great deeds of the Bodhisattva are hard to fathom for one of my poor intelligence. I beg the excellence to forgive all faults such as contradiction and non-sequiturs. So this is the. Then there's another one. Through the virtues. So we also dedicate together. Today is the end of this course. So we also dedicate just like how Tome Sambo have dedicated. Through the virtues from this, may all living beings gain the ultimate and conventional altruistic intention, and thereby become like the protected Cherezik, who dwell in the neither extreme, not in the world, nor in peace. Like that. So, so this teaching was composed in Ngulchu, the Hermitage Cave, by just the Bodhisattva himself, Ngulchu Tome Sambo. So yeah, so this teaching complete. So thank you very much, and sorry for taking extra time from you, but I think it's very auspicious we are able to complete it. And thank you. So if you have any questions, we can, if your time is not rushed, then we can do a few questions. Otherwise, we can stop here. And I will do short dedication and we stop here.
Sí, vamos a pasar al turno de preguntas y voy a quitar la traducción simultánea. ¿De acuerdo, Rafa?
Interact. Geshe-la, maybe later, my request that you, for the sake of auspiciousness, you read as the tradition says the first part. Geshe-la.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so now the questions and answers.
Sí, tenemos una mano levantada y una pregunta en el chat. Creo que Alejandro levantó primero la mano. Si quieres, Alejandro, ¿empiezas?
Gracias. Thank you, Geshe. Thank you for your time and for the teachings.
Thank you.
In these teachings, 3 questions came up about verse 22, verse 28, and 29. On the 22, you mentioned the mind preceding the duality of object and subject and object. How is the mind perceives reality without subject and object, and how is the mind the momentary before perceiving the subject, the object? I don't know if I'm.
Yeah. Okay, so first I answer this.
Geshe and Alejandro, you prefer to say the question in Spanish so then the people can follow.
Perdón. Okay. La primera pregunta es cómo la mente percibe la realidad antes de percibir el sujeto y el objeto en relación al verso 22 y cómo es la mente sin percibir un objeto.
Okay, so the mind, it is own beginning, or it is own nature, is free from any of the fabrication. It is beginning. You can also refer to the conventional, conventional Buddha nature that we carry, which is the potential, the conscious potential of eventually developing bodhicitta, then eventually developing omniscient mind, and that mind is free from fabrications. So that's one thing. The second part is the first moment, the moment before the mind relating to any object. There's no fabrication. That mind too have no fabrication in relation to that object. The fabrication is the moment they relate to the object, then the mind start to interpret, explain, or understood. The object is existent from its own side. But until they perceive the object, they have that no idea that the object exists from its own side. So that's why it is regarded as free from fabrication.
La mente, desde su naturaleza, desde el sin principio, está libre de cualquier fabricación. Aquí se traduce como elaboración, que se la dice fabricación. Quiere decir que desde el inicio la mente atesora esta naturaleza convencional de Buda, que lo que hace es que conlleva ese potencial de la conciencia de desarrollar la bodhicitta y la omnisciencia. Esta mente está libre de fabricación o de elaboraciones. Luego, respecto a la segunda cuestión, el momento previo a que la mente se involucra con el objeto, esa mente no tiene fabricación alguna con respecto a este objeto. No existe. Solo cuando se relaciona, interactúa con el objeto, empieza a interpretar o a entender, creer que el objeto existe inherentemente. Pero antes de esta percepción del objeto como existiendo inherentemente, la mente está libre de cualquier fabricación.
You can also understand like this. The actual definition of the nature of the mind is clear and cognizing. The mind that is just simply clear and cognizing has no, has no fabrication. Just that itself, there's no fabrication of true existence, inherent existence, independent existence, no fabrication at all. You see, the moment this clear and cognizing, influenced by factors, other ideas, factors by its object, perceiving object, then you have this, hallucinational graspings, graspings as inherent existence, etc.
También lo podemos explicar de esta manera. La naturaleza de la mente se define como claridad y conocimiento o conocer. La mente en sí no tiene ningún tipo de fabricaciones. Está libre de cualquier existencia inherente o independiente. Pero no se dan en absoluto estos. Pero en el momento en que estas cualidades de claridad y conocimiento, debido a diferentes factores, ya sea por ideas o factores que vienen del objeto percibido y demás, entonces cae en esa alucinación del aferrarse a que el objeto existe inherentemente.
Thank you. The second question.
Thank you.
Ahora la segunda pregunta.
Sí, hay una pregunta que ha escrito Blanca en el chat, pero no sé si quiere plantearla directamente.
Tenía una pregunta más, pero bueno, seguimos.
Perdón, disculpa.
What is the difference between formless absorption of nothingness and the calming abiding on emptiness?
Uh,
¿Cuál es la diferencia entre la absorción meditativa sin forma de la nada y el objeto de meditación en samatha de meditar en la vacuidad?
Okay, so the concentration as a practice of concentration is similar, but the object and the purpose of concentrations are different. The concentration of formless realms are very much see disadvantage of the form realms limitations, then see the advantage of the formless realms, and remain in that space of, remain in that actualize the meditative concentration on that, and they receive tremendous peace. And the label of those stages of concentrations are given different names, like a limitless space or limitless consciousness, nothingness, etc., like that. When it comes to the concentration in relation to karma abiding to shamatha, karma abiding that leads to special insight, that is simply training, concentration, the shamatha, on the basis of using emptiness itself as an object of meditation. And the ultimate goal is to be able to utilize the benefit of special insight, which is to be effective antidote to eradicate the defilement along the bhumis or the grounds.
Entonces, la diferencia, aunque sean similares en respecto a la fuerza de la concentración, el objeto es diferente y el propósito es diferente. En las absorciones de los reinos sin forma se usa la reflexión, el análisis de ver las desventajas de aspectos más burdos, como por ejemplo de los reinos de la forma, las limitaciones que todavía persisten en ellas, y las ventajas que surgen de las absorciones sin forma. Y ya sea de alguna manera se utiliza la concentración para permanecer en ese estado que aporta una paz todavía mayor en la meditación. Y se designan en diferentes grados esas etapas de diferentes absorciones, desde el espacio sin límites o también espacio. Geshe, you said limitless space, limitless consciousness, sí, conciencia sin límite, la nada, and Geshe, the other one, the last one you said, the last is the peak.
Yeah, peak.
Entonces, Geshe le he preguntado si había dicho la última del pico y no. Entonces, el pico también. Después, luego todo eso es el final. Pero en la concentración sobre la vacuidad se utiliza la calma mental y la visión superior para concentrarse sobre el objetivo, que es la vacuidad, que tiene como motivación el usarlo como antídoto para los engaños y para lograr ir eliminando los engaños a través de los diversos bhumis.
So the concentration training to develop special insight, the objective is enlightenment, liberation, liberation, enlightenment. The concentration that developed by formless realm, in the formless realms, are just simply to enjoy the peace in the state of formless realm. That's it. One is the objective within samsara, another one is objective beyond samsara.
Entonces el objetivo para meditar en calma mental y visión superior penetrante es obtener, sobre la vacuidad, es obtener la liberación y la iluminación, y en las concentraciones del reino sin forma es disfrutar de esa experiencia placentera de esos reinos, pero todavía dentro de los límites de samsara. Uno es su objetivo todavía es samsárico y el otro trasciende el samsara. Gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Muchas gracias. The next one.
Sí, en el
siguiente.
chat Blanca pregunta sobre la paciencia. Si alguien abusa de ti porque eres paciente, ¿cuándo dejas de ser paciente con esa persona? ¿No es mejor alejarse de ese tipo de personas a que te siga tratando mal por ser paciente?
Yeah, and the question comes from ¿cuál es el nombre? Perdón.
Blanca.
Blanca. Blanca is asking about patience. In the situation, someone is taking advantage of you, or let's say a bit stronger word, abusing you. So when is the moment when you have to stop to practice patience with this person? Is not better just stop relating to this person and in this way avoiding this person to continue to act this way? How?
So there are two aspects. One aspect, yes, you need to apply skillful means to minimize the abuse. Maybe distancing physically, or not communicating. Like disconnecting the communications, disassociating, etc. One thing. The another way is continue to, another way is never to give up that person, even how abusive that person may be. Never to give up as object of your compassion. Even though you are the victim of abuse, but then you as a practitioner, you always find ways to help that person to overcome those negative doings. So if in person you have the power to influence that person to be a better person, good. If not, at least do from afar. If not, if not no way at all can be done in relation to any communication, then at least dedicate prayers. Whenever you do practice, you dedicate prayers for this person to give up all the wrongdoings by concerning of his negative karma, his suffering in the lower realms, etc. So it's not an object to give up, even how abusive the person is, but you also need to apply the skillful means to minimize if there's a way that you can do.
Sí, hay dos aspectos en este tratar con estas personas, con las personas que nos puedan abusar o que puedan abusar bueno, hay muchos grados, ¿no? Quiero decir que en castellano la palabra abusar puede ir, ¿no? Muchos grados. En inglés creo que tiene otra connotación más peyorativa. Entonces hay muchos grados. I'm clarifying Geshe because abuse in Spanish it has a different connotation. Maybe in English it's a little bit more harsh, and in Spanish it's a little bit. So then, entonces, por supuesto, hay que usar tus habilidades, tus capacidades para tratar de reducir ese daño, disminuir que pueda infligir daño. Entonces sería, por ejemplo, no relacionarte físicamente ya con esa persona, o también cortar con la comunicación con esa persona para evitar que te dañe. Otro modo es, en términos generales, porque cuando lo explique Geshe se dice así, ¿no? En términos generales es no abandonar a esa persona, pero eso tiene muchos grados, ahora lo ves en la contestación. No, lo sigues teniendo como tu objeto de compasión. De alguna manera, a pesar de que tú seas la víctima del daño, como practicante, siempre encuentras formas de hacer que esa persona supere esas acciones negativas. Si tienes la capacidad de influenciar todavía en persona, lo puedes hacer. Si no, en la distancia. Y si ni siquiera lo puedes hacer, quiere decir con cierta distancia, poniendo cierta distancia, si ni siquiera lo puedes hacer poniendo cierta distancia, entonces en absoluto, al menos no abandonarlo en tu corazón, dedicando con oraciones, ¿no? Para que esa persona pueda superar, abandonar las acciones negativas, pensando en el resultado de daño que va a surgir en el futuro para esa persona de karma negativo, renacer en los reinos inferiores y demás. Por tanto, hay dos aspectos. Por un lado, no abandonarlo en ese sentido, en esos diversos grados que se ha dicho. Añado yo, ¿no? Esto es para que se entienda mejor en el castellano. Y también la habilidad para actuar dependiendo de la capacidad de cada uno, con el objetivo de reducir el daño, que esa persona cometa acciones negativas.
So those who are a bit advanced in practice, if you're able to do, which is very hard, then those harm givers, you regard them as your guru, or you regard those harm givers as like a wish fulfilling gem to really for you to, you are put into a very nasty situation, but it's like give you the greatest exam and training for your heart to be able to transform, which is very, very hard. But if you're able to, then why not, So you can read the 8 verses of thought transformation by Geshe Langri Thamba. Very helpful. If you memorize them, you you recite them like Om Mani Padme Hum like that, then it's so helpful.
Y para aquellos practicantes avanzados, esa persona que nos inflige el daño, como dice los 8 estrofas del adiestramiento mental, es como esa joya tan valiosa que concede todos los deseos, es como ese tesoro, ¿no? Es como esa persona que es tan perjudicial, ¿no? Tan nasty, ¿no? Sería como tan mala contigo, ¿no? Te pone en esta situación tan nociva, es como el que te está poniendo el examen, ¿no? Y para adiestrarte, te está poniendo, testando para adiestrarte. Y aunque sea realmente muy duro, ¿no? El poderlo aplicar y transformarlo, si eres capaz, ¿por qué no? ¿No? Y entonces usar, dice Geshe, si somos capaces, estos 8 estrofas del adiestramiento mental, tratar de memorizarlas, porque pueden ser de mucha ayuda. Es como memorizarlas como el Om Mani Padme Hum, porque nos pueden servir de mucho en estas situaciones.
Then yeah, I wanted to say something, but then suddenly disappeared.
Quería decir algo, pero se me ha ido, se me ha resbalado, ¿no?
Yes. Oh, maybe this
ya
one.
viene. Esta.
You see, whatever experiences that we experience, result of karma. That's a very, very foundational understanding as a Buddhist practice. And not just a Buddhist practice, but reality is like that. Whatever experiences that we experience is karma. That there is a cause before there. So whatever harm that we receive, like abuse, whatever, we have, there's a karmic cause and effect called result similar to the cause. Meaning the same way, similar way that we have harm to that person in past lifetime. Now you are getting that harm, you see. Now, you as a practitioner, you can take the opportunity to end this relationship, negative relationship. Because if you retaliate, this karma is continue to repeat. Continue to repeat. So as a practitioner, and you forgive them. You take as a purification of the past karma. You help this person you help this person through generation of compassion. So that way you start a new relationship with this person, positive relationship. The negative relation, abusing each other, will end because of that practice. You see, like that. So all the negative experiences we can end like that. So that's why whatever teaches in adverses, all the Lojong teachings is to end all the negative relationships and start positive relationship like that.
Lo que sea que experimentamos es el resultado, ¿no? Nos sobreviene porque es el resultado del karma. El karma, nuestras acciones, actúan como la base de lo que experimentamos después. Y esto es así, aquí se le ha dicho, es el cimiento de la enseñanza budista, pero ha corregido y ha dicho, no, pero no solo eso, es la realidad, es como las cosas existen en realidad. Lo que experimentamos tiene una causa, que es el karma, es decir, cuando experimentamos una situación de que se abusa de nuestra confianza o más, ¿no? Abuso, la traducimos así, o otros grados. El karma es que experimentamos, ese efecto surge de un resultado que se dice que es resultado similar a la causa. Por tanto, lo que nos está queriendo decir es que del mismo modo, en vidas pasadas, nosotros hemos infligido el daño y ahora recibimos este daño como resultado. Entonces, si ahora practicamos esta secuencia de que somos conscientes y no devolvemos el daño, es un comienzo para revertir esta situación, porque si lo que hacemos es devolver el daño, lo que entramos es en que el karma se repite. Pero si como practicante perdonas, lo tomas como una purificación del karma, lo tomas como tratas de ayudar a esa persona para querer revertir, como persona generando la compasión y demás, y lo que tratas de hacer es revertir la situación y tratar de agotar esa situación negativa y a partir de entonces establecer una relación positiva. Entonces, eso lo puedes hacer a través de estas acciones de perdonar, etcétera. Puedes agotarlo así. Por eso tomamos estas 8 estrofas de la transformación del pensamiento como una práctica que nos ayuda a agotar esos karmas negativos y revertirlos en un karma positivo, en una situación positiva. Entonces ha dicho las 8 estrofas o el Lojong en general.
Thank you.
Gracias.
En el chat no hay más preguntas.
There are no more questions in the chat.
Someone raising hand.
Esto todavía una mano levantada, dice Geshe. O hay una... Está Fernando, veo que está, y luego Ana Esteban. ¿Quieres preguntar, Ana Esteban? O bueno, lo diriges tú.
Sí.
Sure.
Sí. Gisela, thank you very much. La cuestión sería, a ver si tengo la claridad para realizarla. Ha hablado de estar libre del extremo de existencia e inexistencia de alguna manera. Cuando nos aproximamos, cuando te sientes con una cierta comodidad de alguna manera o con la idea, con la experiencia de que las cosas no existen de la manera que creemos que existen, se produce como una sensación de... Y no caes en el vacío, sino que ves como el potencial de existencia, ¿no? De que de alguna manera como me da una sensación de tranquilidad, ¿no? Respecto a la experiencia humana de dejar de, por ejemplo, en la muerte, de dejar de existir, ¿no? ¿Cómo, si nos aproximamos y vamos avanzando en el camino, cómo nos aseguramos de que no estamos cayendo de alguna manera en el aferramiento cuando nos aproximamos a la experiencia de que las cosas existen y no existen? Bueno, muy, muy complicado, lo siento, Rafa.
No. Solo quiero aclarar, I need to clarify one aspect, Gisela. Cuando dices cómo podemos darnos cuenta de que no estamos cayendo en el aferramiento, ¿a qué te refieres?
Sí, porque hay como, no sé, como una sensación puede haber una sensación como de relajación, ¿no? De tranquilidad, ¿no? Como haber encontrado algo, ¿no?
Okay.
Pero que no es haber encontrado algo realmente,
Okay.
¿vale?
Sí, I think I got it. So she says at the beginning, well, I will try to be clear myself about the question, even not so sure, but okay, Gisela was talking about when we are trying to focus on this experience that is beyond existence or non-existence. It's like, and we have this well-being kind of sensation because we are, how to say, comfortable with this experience of the things are not existing the way we believe, but they still exist. So then you don't fall in the stream of the of the just empty, but you still see some potential to exist. And there is this tranquility. She relates that to the experience, for example, when you said about when dying, no? Then that you can have this tranquility experience because you don't completely, I understood that, but I'm not sure. So you don't completely stop existing at all, no? So she can relate to that. But when we progress in the path, when we are just satisfied with this experience of the things are not existent but also non-existence, when we detect, when can we detect that maybe we are falling into the stream of grasping even to that, no? That we are just being in this situation and grasping also to something there, no? Even I cannot explain, or she was not able to explain fully, but I think I got this. It makes sense. Yeah.
A very, very, very subtle and very, very good, important question. Very subtle. Very
Sí,
good.
es una pregunta muy sutil y muy importante, sí.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all the thing that what you said is right. First of all.
Sí, todas las cosas que has dicho son ciertas, lo primero a contestar.
Okay, so then now I get to the point. Yeah, there are many dangers. There are dangers of, yeah, there are danger from the both sides, nihilism, inner nihilism. So therefore, you have to combine the analytical meditation and absorption meditation well together. So analytical meditation on emptiness, as briefly I've guided before, as a preliminary to the absorption meditation, so that during absorption meditation, when you are so deep and so to the peak of the meditation, then you will able to remain in the middle way rather than falling into either of the extreme.
Voy a ir ahora al grano, bueno, al punto diríamos, ¿no? En castellano. Hay muchos peligros, peligros de los dos lados, los extremos del nihilismo o del etelarismo. Básicamente lo que tenemos que hacer es desarrollar bien ambas partes, el aspecto analítico y luego la de absorción en un solo punto. En relación al análisis sobre la vacuidad, tendríamos que utilizar de alguna manera lo que he comentado antes, dice Geshe sobre la vacuidad, que es un análisis breve, y eso usarlo como el preliminar sobre el que desarrollar la absorción en un solo punto. Entonces, cuando estamos en esa mente, a veces se traduce unidireccional, no tan profunda sobre la vacuidad, eso, digamos que dice Geshe en el pico, ¿no? En el culmen de esta meditación, debemos de permanecer ahí, y eso sería como permanecer en el camino medio, libre de extremos.
Yeah, so this is very, very, very extremely important. The analytical meditation as a preliminary. So sometimes we forget to mention this specific word, analytical meditation on emptiness as a preliminary, necessary preliminary to the absorption meditation in order not to fall into the one of the extremes, hardly mentioned. So good that through your question, so now mention this.
Es extremadamente importante poner en palabras esto que acabamos de decir específicamente, ¿no? Primero, como preliminar, desarrollar esta meditación analítica sobre la vacuidad, porque a veces se nos olvida usar específicamente estas palabras como preliminar a la meditación unidireccional o a absorción en un solo punto, porque es lo que va a evitar que cayamos en uno de los extremos. Entonces, gracias a tu pregunta, pues lo traigo a colación, ¿no? Gracias por permitir esto, ¿no?
Then, because for most people, if don't guide well, then they like to go into absorption meditation straight away, because absorption meditation is easier and nice. It's comfortable, just no need to think too much. The analytical meditation is a lot to think, a lot of using, the analytical correct teaching from the teaching, and it's very much it's kind of like walking on the rope, one rope. Make sure the balance, you don't fall this way, don't fall this way. You have to be so mindful, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So when you do analytical meditation, make sure that don't fall into nihilism, don't fall into inner nihilism, So it requires tremendous effort. So people don't like to do that, People straight away want to empty, feel bliss. So if you do proper analytical meditation first, then you will reach to no problem, I guess.
Porque la mayoría de la gente, si no nos guían bien, diríamos, lo que vamos a hacer es nos gusta ir directamente a la parte de absorción en un solo punto, ¿no? Porque es más fácil, es más bonito, no nos gusta pensar mucho, pero en realidad el otro, que es la meditación analítica, hay tanto que pensar, ¿no? Y realmente debemos de usar con una información correcta, la que recibimos por las enseñanzas, reflexionar sobre ellas. Y dice Geshe es como en castellano, ¿no? El funambulista sobre la cuerda, ¿no? Que estás ahí tratando de mantener el equilibrio, de no caerte, ¿no? En un lado o en el otro. Entonces, tratas de, a través del análisis, bien ver que no caigas en un extremo tanto del nihilismo o del eternalismo. Tienes que poner mucho esfuerzo, y en general a la gente no nos gusta esto, sino nos gusta estar ahí solo en la vacuidad o bliss, ¿no? Gozo. Entonces, pero en realidad tenemos que analizar primero bien para poder no caer en ninguno de esos extremos.
Okay, now there's another point, especially to protect from falling into nihilism, the grasping, as you mentioned. There's a danger of, in order to protect from there. And if the person is truly, doing a proper meditation and really gaining genuine realization on emptiness, even for a moment, just before you actualize the emptiness realization, generally the practitioner, almost 99 or the 100%, practitioner will experience one of the greatest fear, like fear of losing everything, like disappearing everything. The intensity of fear is like suddenly on the open road, you meet a tiger, hungry tiger, just suddenly right in front of your face, meeting hungry tiger. That would be the most fearful, isn't it? So when you the moment before you realize the genuine emptiness, you have, that this experience comes in your way. The fear of losing everything become completely nothing, nothing. Then after that, then immediate after that, if you able to recognize that fear is because of you are really reaching to absolute empty of any grasping, that which is influenced from the analytical meditation. Now you are one portion of your mind telling you that you are not losing everything, you are losing the grasping. Then the moment yourself let you know, the next moment you feel tremendous relief. It's like a bird, release from the cage and floating in the empty space, like flying here and there, like completely blissful. Or then when you experience that bliss, then you experience the union of existing at the same time non-existent, union of emptiness and great bliss. Then there you very much, you can say you realize emptiness.
Gisela, just one question. We are talking just now inferential. We are qualifying or not qualifying realization as inferential realization of emptiness, or inferential.
Even just inferential, but even if you, that's quite similar.
So he tratado de clarificar una cosa que luego la explicaré al final, si es inferencial o no. Entonces, si lo analizamos primero bien, pues tendremos esa salvaguarda de que irá bien la meditación, no caeremos en ninguno de los extremos, porque especialmente, y Geshe lo ha expresado así, con respecto a tu pregunta, yo creo que lo ha interpretado así, es aferrarse al nihilismo, ha dicho, cuando la persona está tratando de meditar de la forma apropiada. Si queremos, que nos estamos todavía manteniendo un cierto aferramiento, y ese aferramiento es el nihilismo, si queremos saber si realmente es una realización auténtica de la vacuidad que se da en ese momento, lo que sucede es que antes de desarrollar completamente la vacuidad, y ahí es donde he hecho yo la pregunta, Geshe, realización de la vacuidad aquí se refiere a inferencial o directa, diría, podemos utilizar en general este término de vacuidad inferencial, pero sucedería algo similar, es muy similar a cuando sucede también directamente. Entonces, el 99% de las personas, lo que sucede antes de ese momento es que se experimenta un miedo de perder todo. Es como si todo desaparece. La intensidad sería similar de ese miedo, sería similar a que de repente estás en una carretera, ¿no?, en abierto, y se te aparece un tigre hambriento. Sería tan aterrador como eso. Entonces, en el momento en que se realiza la vacuidad auténtica, sobreviene ese miedo de perderlo todo, de que nada, ¿no?, de que como si que nada existe. Entonces, pero tras ello, inmediatamente, si reconoces ese miedo de que, y ahí es donde entra lo importante del estudio y la reflexión analítica sobre la vacuidad. Si te das cuenta de que ese miedo no es que es una ausencia total de nada, sino que te libras de a cualquier tipo de aferramiento, de lo que te estás, digamos que ese lo ha expresado, es que gracias a la reflexión analítica sobre la vacuidad, una parte de tu mente, cuando está experimentando ese miedo, está siendo capaz de discernir que ese miedo no viene de que todo deja de existir en absoluto, sino lo contrario, es que te libras de... Él no ha dicho lo contrario, pero en castellano diríamos, pero es sobre todo porque te libras del aferramiento. Entonces, lo que sucede en ese siguiente momento es que lo que viene es un alivio, y sería como un pájaro que de repente se le libera de la jaula y vuela al cielo, ¿no? Entonces, lo que surge es una experiencia gozosa. Y esa esa experiencia de gozo, este gozo, es esta unión de existencia y no existencia, del gran gozo y vacuidad.
So, so sometimes not necessarily that the influence of the analytical meditation will remind you. Sometimes, sometimes you are so deep in meditation until that, your body got reaction, you boom like that, boom like this. Or sometimes, you hold your clothes like that, There's one master in Tibet, during the teaching on emptiness, he realized. So he suddenly he grabbed his tonga. The moment he grabbed it, then immediately informed by himself that do not exist but exist. So when you bang like that, then you will reminded you exist because you could have. But then your main mind is still deep in concentration. That you will still carry on that that experience of void and bliss. And I mean that experience is like numberless times of any joy that you have ever experienced in the whole life, whole universe.
Dice Geshe matiza que no solo la influencia de la reflexión previa, ¿no?, del análisis sobre la vacuidad, sino la mera reacción del cuerpo puede proporcionarnos ese apunte, ¿no?, de que no es así, porque cuando te echas para atrás en la meditación y te golpeas con la cabeza, o el ejemplo que se menciona en las enseñanzas de ese maestro en Tibet que se cogió a los hábitos, ¿no? Entonces esa misma acción de cogerte te está recordando, ¿no?, que existe o no existe, no existe pero existe, ¿no? Es como esa experiencia, y cuando se tiene esa experiencia, dice Geshe que es una experiencia de unión del vacío y el gozo, es innumerable veces mayor a cualquier gozo que se pueda experimentar en cualquier vida samsárica o en la existencia que hayamos tenido.
Yeah. Okay.
No hay más preguntas, parece.
No more questions. Seems like no more questions.
So we can, I read the first, the line, the homage verse as auspiciousness, Rafa reminded.
Entonces voy a leer la primera estrofa del texto como signo de auspiciosidad, como Rafa ha recordado.
I pay homage through my three doors to my supreme teacher and protector, Tenzin, who, while seeing all phenomena like coming and going, makes single-minded effort for the good of living beings. Yeah. So what I think many of you are familiar with the detailed dedication. So I will recite some prayers of dedication. So please do dedicate. So in short, the merit that collectively generated through this session, as well as the merit that and virtue accumulated in the past, and also going to accumulate in the future. Also the merit and virtue accumulated by past, present, future Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and gurus and sentient beings. Collectively may this merit be a complete cause for numberless sentient beings to be free from oceans of samsara suffering and actualize temporary happiness up to the ultimate happiness of enlightenment.
Entonces, yo voy ahora a hacer las oraciones de dedicación de una forma más detallada, pero vosotros más o menos uniros en esta dedicación con la idea que habitualmente decimos de que todos los méritos que hayamos acumulado de forma individual y colectiva, de alguna manera, tanto en el presente ahora como en el pasado y en el futuro, todos nuestros méritos, pero también los de todos los demás, incluyendo a todos los seres sintientes, a los bodhisattvas, budas y gurus del pasado, presente y futuro. Todas las dedicamos para que todos los seres sintientes, sin excepción, puedan abandonar el ciclo de los sufrimientos samsáricos y lograr la iluminación completa.
May this collective merit be complete cause to end the pandemic and all the other diseases, natural disaster, the war, any form of adversity that experiencing in the world to be end without delay, even a moment.
Y también que sea todos estos méritos la causa completa para que cesen todas las pandemias, todas las enfermedades y todos los sufrimientos que provienen, son creados por el hombre, y también los desastres naturales, que todas las adversidades cesen completamente e inmediatamente, sin demorar un momento, demorar absolutamente un momento, un instante.
May this collective merit be complete cause for all the world leaders, organizations, and people who lead their family, and individual yourself who lead your own life, be free from all the negative emotions, and actualize, wisdom of selfless, emptiness, attitude of loving kindness, compassion, bodhisattva, so that anyone under their leadership can able to enjoy only peace, virtue, and happiness.
Y también dediquemos todo este mérito colectivo para que sea la causa de que todos los seres, todos los líderes de naciones, de organizaciones, los líderes de la familia, cada uno que somos los dirigentes de nuestras propias vidas, eliminemos, erradiquemos las emociones destructivas de nuestra mente, todas las, y que desarrollemos los logros de la sabiduría, que comprende la vacuidad, el amor, la compasión, la bodhicitta, y que sea solo causa de acumular virtud y felicidad en el futuro.
Also dedicate, may this collective merit be complete cause for anyone who passed away, in particular the last 49 days, be free from suffering of death, intermediate state, rebirth, and actualize higher rebirth in the Buddha's pure realms and enlighten there within that very lifetime.
Entonces también dediquemos para que estos méritos sean la causa completa de todos aquellos que han fallecido, especialmente aquellos que lo han hecho en al periodo de 49 días anteriores, puedan librarse completamente de los sufrimientos de la muerte, el estado intermedio y el renacimiento, y puedan obtener una vida en los reinos puros, las tierras puras, donde logren la iluminación en esa misma vida.
May this collective merit be a complete cause for all the good people in this world, like His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Gyabje Lama Subrahmachari, and all the precious gurus, and yourself, your family members, always enjoy good health, long life, and fulfill all the aspirations up to enlightenment accordingly.
Y por estos méritos también sea la causa de que todos los buenos seres, como su santidad el Dalai Lama, Gyabje Zopa Rinpoche, todos nuestros gurus, y también vosotros, todos, que tengáis éxito y se tenga éxito, larga vida, muy buena salud, y que se obtengan todas aquellas cosas que puedan cumplir vuestras aspiraciones en vuestro camino al despertar, a la iluminación.
May this collective merit be complete cause all the virtuous institutions like monasteries, nunneries, all the Dharma centers, and especially all the Dharma centers in Spain, in particularly Nagarjuna, Madrid, be free from all the inner outer secret obstacles, actualize all the conducive conditions to preserve the virtue and the Dharma and compassion in action. As extensive as possible, both in learning as well as actualizing the practice in realizations.
Y puedan todos estos méritos ser la causa de que todas las instituciones, monasterios o conventos de monjas, monasterios de monjes y demás, todos los centros de Dharma, especialmente los centros de Dharma en España, especialmente el Centro Nagarjuna de Madrid, puedan verse libres todas estas instituciones de cualquier obstáculo, ya sea externo, interno o secreto, para cumplir sus propósitos de proporcionar, de sostener la virtud, sostener el Dharma, de ser ejemplo, o sea, de llevar a cabo la compasión en acción, y de esta manera se conviertan en centros de un aprendizaje, de una educación y de práctica que obtenga, que culmine en los logros de la práctica y demás.
May this collective merit be complete cause for each and every one of us able to practice like the Bodhisattva Tome Sangbo and be the wish-fulfilling jewel to the rest of the numberless sentient beings.
Y que puedan ser estos méritos la causa de cada uno, de que cada una de nosotras podamos practicar como el Bodhisattva y llegar a ser como él, una joya que concede los deseos a todos los seres sintientes.
And then we understand that ourselves, the merit, the virtue that we dedicated, everything understood as a lack of inherent existence in the nature of interdependent arising emptiness.
Entonces ahora también comprendamos como toda la virtud que hemos creado y nosotros mismos y el objetivo para el cual lo dedicamos, todo esto carece de existencia inherente, existe de una forma interdependiente, vacía de existencia inherente.
So I will recite some prayers, and if you have any individual dedications, you can do during this time.
Entonces ahora yo hago la recitación y vosotros individualmente podéis dedicar mentalmente a cualquier otro propósito que vosotras tengáis.
Oh, Yawade, Nyodo Lama Sanje Dubione Duachi, Yamalubade, Zala Gobrasho, Chanjo Semjorin Boje Maje Banam, Kejuji Jawanya Bameba, Gone Gondo Pebasho, Tony Dawarin Boje Maje Banam, Kejuji Jawanya Bameba, Gone Gondo Pebajorin Dawarin Boje Maje Banam, Kejuji Jawanya Bameba, Gone Gondo Pebasho, Kare Rave Kove, Shingam, the Pendan Dewa Malijuin, Cheresewa, Tenzin Jazo, Shabese de Bado Danger, Tozo Change Jango Jave, the Zinyo Bebe, Gozo Doboje, Chozo Gove. Elementu rupa dazo doji kondo shabden sho. Pama zemje tamje dendan den yoje ngiro tamje dado dongwa da chanjo semba gana sujo ba de da gunyi malam do yoje semje ne ba jinye ba nyodo nele ta yoje dobe ne male dado jongwa me bar sho jambe ba weje da jamba da kondo sambo de ya de jinje de da gunyi jezo da lo je jawa de da tamje rab do ngodo sunje be jawa tamje de ngowa gana chu dongwa ba de da je jewe sawa de gunyi Sambo Jeje Rabdo Ngowarai, Cheje Jabo Tsonga, Jeso Namba Pewa, the Jeje Sema Sheva, the Tunje Malu, somewhere show, Dada Shinji to Zum da Dove Sunila, then Javalo Santa by Temba Yure, Emba, Yure, Chum de Jabata Jama and the Bazobesan, Namana Javala Charles, or Chinsuba Jamago, Sambola Charles, or Diadon Bezade, all but the nays, Omodura Zamages or Diadon Bezade, all but the nays, Omdura Zamages or Diadon Bezade, all but the nays, Omdura Zamages or Diadon Bezade, all but the nays. Omonduro Zamages or Jim de Jabata Jama, Zobe, San Minilla Bido, Jabola Chazal, Jim de Jabata Jama and the Bazobesan, one the Molanta Jera to Jabola Chazal. Menjo Zeje Jave Jelada Dendelo, maybe Dembada Dajela Santa Beto, Namdama Benego, Duburo, Domaji, then comes to Jamba, the Demba Invasion of Zama, Denzel Polosion of the Demba Urin, never touches you better, so I make a vision to but of the Simjera. Samba Jeshe and Dube touches Juni Mondele, Sendele Yemegoyan, Delejin, the Dado Delebe, Kunjo, some year, Dashi. Thank you so much, Rafala. Thank you very much for your help translating. And also thank you very much, Fernando, Conchi, everyone, all of your great effort. And we complete. And I'm sorry also the last session was interrupted because of I had to go to Nepal. So anyway, today we complete and rejoice and thank you.
Gracias a todos, gracias a Rafa, gracias a Fernando y a Conchi y a todos por haber participado. Os pido disculpas porque tuvimos que cancelar la última sesión debido a mi viaje a Nepal. Entonces con esto hemos concluido y bueno, muchas gracias.
Yeah, and also the moderator, I have to know the name. Yeah, okay.
Yolanda.
Yolanda.
Emptiness. So thank you for your effort. All the people who make this teaching possible. So I feel very, very fortunate, and I hope there's some benefit to all of us. Okay, thank you so much, and hope to see you in person soon.
Entonces, muchas gracias a todos los que habéis colaborado, a Yolanda, bueno, Nagarjuna Bakuida, ¿no? Porque no le salía el nombre, Bakuida. Entonces, muchas gracias, de hecho, a todos los que habéis hecho posible que esto haya tenido lugar y que espero, bueno, que nos veamos pronto y si puede ser en persona, pronto.
Muchas gracias. No sé cómo, no me salen palabras de agradecimiento.
I have no words for thanking you, Geshe, Fernando says.
Emptiness.
Always in Tibetan. Tushishe, que será.
Thank you. Thank you. Take care.
Take care.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.